Hello everyone, myself Ami Mehta and here we discuss basic concepts of array. So what is basically an array? An array is a fixed size sequence collection of elements of the same data type. So there are 2 to 3 things that we have to keep in mind while we using array. That it is a fixed size, second it is a sequence collection, and third it is of same data type. Also an array is a derived data type. So every element is referred by their index or subscript value. So we can store the sequence collection of element so that every element is referred by their index or subscript value. And the subscript for an array is always begin with 0. Okay, so how we can declare array in C language? So its syntax is data type, then the name of array and the size of array. Okay, so for example, we have to create one array which name is value, and we want to store the elements and its data type is integer. So first of all, integer, array name is value, and the 5 is the size of that array. So the data type specify the type of the element that can be stored in an array, like an integer, float, character. And the size indicate the maximum number of elements that can be stored inside the array. So here total 5 elements can be stored in the array. Now, what is the advantages of using an array? So you can use one name to store many values with different indexes. Okay, so you can use just one name to store many values. Now an array is very useful when you are working with sequence of the same kind of data. An array makes also program easier to read, write and debug. So these are the advantages of array and why we using array in our program. Now what is the disadvantage? So the disadvantage is it is a wastage of memory space. So suppose we declare the variable length is 100 but we store the value only 10, or we can say that we only store 10 elements. So the less 90 elements space is actually wasted, because whenever you declare array size 100, it already occupy space in memory for 100 elements, but you just store only 10 elements. Second one, array is a static structure. It means that array is of fixed size. So we cannot change the size of array at runtime. Okay, we cannot change the size of array while runtime. Now the next one is it can store only similar type of data, and sometimes it is not easy to operate with many index array. So integer means only integer type of data. Float means only float type of data. So our one array cannot store both integer and float data. Okay, or we can say that integer or character, both data cannot be stored in a single array. Okay, and also it is not easy to operate with many index arrays. So these are the disadvantages of arrays. Okay, so now we discuss one dimensional array. What is one dimensional array? Okay, so let us discuss it. An array using only one subscript to represent the list of elements is called single dimensional array. So its syntax is that same data type, array name and size. So here we only use only one subscript. Okay. One subscript means only a one dimensional. Okay. So its example is integer marks 10. So we can store 10 elements. Okay. So an individual array element can be used anywhere like a normal variable with a statement such as g is equal to mass of 6. Okay. So now we can store value into array element by specifying the array element on the left hand side of the equal sign. Like marks 6 is equal to 95. So basically we store the 95 in the array named marks and its position is 6. Okay. So the value 95 is stored at 6th position in an array. The declaration integer values 5 would reserve enough space for for an array called values that could hold up to 5 integers. That's why we discussed that the disadvantages is if we declare the array size 5 and we only store 2 values, then the remaining the 3 memory space is wasted. Okay. Now, we can also do the compile time initialization of one-dimensional array. So, the general form of initialization of array is first of all data type, then its array name, then size, and then list of values. Now here, let us see the example. So data type integer, array name is number. So first we declare the size of array is 3 and we store the value 1, 5 and 22. In second example we declare array number of integer data type and its size is 5. But actually we store only two values 1 and 20. Now, the third example, we say that we declare array named number of integer data type and we not declare here the size of array. But as per the values, it creates its array. Okay. So here we create 1, 5 and 6 value, or we can say that we have entered 1, 5 and 6 total 3 values, so it can create array of size 3. So this is how we can initialize array or we can say that initialization of one dimensional array in C. Now let us discuss small example of one dimensional array. So first of all we include our header file. We do not return any value, so we just write void main and we declare. So how we can declare array? So integer means data type, array name suppose a1 and its size suppose 5. And now we store value in it. Okay. So 5, 5, 2, 1, 3 and 4. Now we take another variable integer I. Now we simply print this 5 value using for loop. So I is equal to 0, I less than 5 and I plus false. So now we just print that value, print f what we actually print? A1 of 0, A1 of 1, then A1 of 2, A1 of 3, A1 of 4. So first of all, it print A1 of 0, which means 5. Then A1 of 1, which is 2. A1 of 2, which is 1. A1 of 3, which is 3. And A1 of 4, which is 4. Okay, so here we write A1 of I. Now our simple program is over, and here we compile our program. Then run. So it displays the value 52134. So this is the simple demonstration of how we declare one-dimensional array and how we initialize that array. So basically what we do, we directly give the value 52134 to that array A1. Now suppose we want to initialize one-dimensional array at runtime. Okay, so let us see the example for that. So first we include header file, then after void main, now we declare array integer array of size 5 and one variable I, because we want that variable in for loop. Now here we print that enter 5 elements here. Okay, so here we write that. Now we basically write the for loop. So what we do in for loop, we write the scanf statement, so that 5 element we can store runtime in the array. So that's why in previous program we directly initialize the value at the declaration time. We declare that array and also we initialize that array manually. But suppose now we want to uh, runtime value. Okay, then we use this printf and then after the scanf. Okay, so let us write that scanf part using for loop. So basically here first we okay. Now we write for loop. So for I is equal to 0, I less than 5, and I plus plus. Then scanf percentage d, we store the value in array. So array of I. So first value is stored in array of 0, then after array of 1, then after array of 2, array of 3, array of 4. Okay, and same thing we print here. So for that we can also do the for loop. For new line we write here /n, so that each and every element print on new line. Okay, and now our program is over. compile it and now run our program. So enter 5 elements here. So we enter 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is printed here. So basically using scanf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is stored in array, and using printf that 5 element printed here. So this is how basically one dimensional array and how array is work in C. Thank you.